Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the EL. Welcome to the first round of playoffs this week, casted by yours truly, Damon Yuxi, and a new face. We got Ravs casted here. Say hello.
Hello, hello. How are y'all doing? I'm excited to be here. I don't know. My name is Rev. I'm casting the Greek leagues, and now I'm here to cast the eel.
Yeah, we got the first round, the first game of playoffs. We got Wild Panthers Nemesis versus. Can you say it? You said that very well before. Guys,
Uh,
I do not have the correct accent and shit.
okay, so wait a minute, because I was actually cheating. I was reading it, so let me find it
Ah,
once again. It's Monastery something something. So MMM versus Wild Panthers Nemesis. Yes, for the first time. I see how it is. I've been set up here.
yes, you
Uh,
have been.
So yeah, it's the first round of playoffs. I think it's a new patch. We don't know what to expect exactly, and as you were saying, there are also new picks available. No?
Yeah, we got enough Fury enabled for this week. So, be free to pick the combat doggo.
Yeah, we're gonna be asking a lot who let the dogs out. If it's gonna be a good pick. If not, then we're gonna be asking. I don't know. Why did you pick it, Sir Manasir Matrix? So yeah, I found it finally. Yeah. So I wanna see what will her place be in the meta if the teams have actually practiced it. Because looking through the solo queue accounts of the players, I did not really see any doggos over there. Maybe they were picking up their chocolates left, right, and center, or maybe they just want to practice their best pick, stay on the meta they are already comfortable on, and make sure that they can present with their best selves going forward in the tournament.
Yeah, also, I don't think Nafiri actually has found her position, like her position to be played in the community after all. I've seen her play top lane, I've seen her play jungle, I've seen her played in the mid
Mm,
lane, and also in the AD carry and support position, which I find kind of surprising, but I guess
yep.
the high damage numbers currently still are like very very nice to have down there if you still can one shot an 80 carry if you will level down. Uh, that's one of the things I guess. I'm not sure if she's currently up for any nerfs.
Yeah, she is. She is. It's been
She
announced
is.
already.
Okay,
Yeah.
very good.
Uh, So yeah, she was found out a little bit faster maybe than Riot expected. So we're expecting the nerfs in the next patch to come together with Duskblade nerfs. So it's double nerfs for her. So we're gonna see
And
if right now the teams wanna abuse her and maybe have been secretly practicing her.
we are already in the draft. We have the Wild Panthers banning out the Jax and the Ashe,
Mm.
while MMM decides to protect their bot lane, go for a Zara ban, and take off the Victor off the board.
Yeah, and the
Uh,
Zara is one of the strong picks of Noxy, from what I've seen. She has been spamming her a lot of games in this last split. So I really like the respect there because, yeah, maybe she has more plays or a better win ratio in Braum, but you know that with the Zyra, if things go south, you're Danzo from the first 5-10 minutes of the game. She doesn't even need to spend any economy on warding. Her plans do the job. So it's a really nice focus down. And I see a lot of respect on the ADC position on the other side from the Wild Panthers Nemesis team.
yes, indeed. No Kaisa. Kaisa, of course, being very, very strong in the meta. Wise Mystical Tree also taken off the board. No ganking with the saplings. No free vision, if you want it like that.
Yeah.
And we got the Echo hovered first. That might be a slight jab at some happenings in the chat. Once again, the Echo hovered.
Yep.
Probably gonna not gonna be locked in. Yeah, there we go. Another Syndra hover, and also another little jab. I wonder if they're actually gonna lock one of those.
Well, the
Syndra,
Syndra is a nice pick, but I think it's a little bit early. She's not. She can be blind pickable, but usually you want her to be an answer because if you show the Syndra way too early, yeah, if you
there we
show
go.
her way too early, the enemy team will just not pick something that goes straight at you. But we got the Kog'Maw Braum duo way too early, and that's a page out of the G2 book, and since they won one more split, I think it's wise to take those books away from those pages, sorry, away from them.
Yeah, like you said, Kog'Maw Braum, Kog'Maw being also another very strong AD carry right now. Of course, with the items have like the old Rage Blade, more or less making a comeback in form of the Mythic AD carry item, kind of pushing Kog'Maw back into a position where he's either more or less pick ban, but of course he does prefer some support to protect him. Of course,
Mm-hmm.
Braum does do the job, but you might have gone for an enchanter instead. While Zaya Rakan and the Jarvan are locked in, of course, Jarvan being able to lock down one target, Rakan jumps in, gets a safe knockup, even longer CC chain. Uh, Very nice combo there. Zaya, of course, very safe AD carry as well with her
Yep.
ultimate. Ivern. That
And
is what I would have expected, like in the role of the Braum, but I guess they have decided, yeah, we go protect the AD carry, protect the Kog'Maw, keep that little worm alive and shooting and spitting on the enemy, more or less. Uh, Malphite banned away.
yeah, especially
No
when you
rock.
think that the Ivor now with the mini rework gives on hit damage to his teammates with the bushes as well, so you can just spawn bushes on top of him. He has 2.5 attack speed very quickly with his on hit items, maybe even with little tempo, a little bit more than that. So I really like the adaptation from the side of MMM, but I like the pivot from Wild Panthers Nemesis as well because the Rakan is always a great pairing with the Zaya. You have that early prowess. You can punish the weird early to mid game from the Kog'Maw and the Braum, especially since the Braum will not be able to lock down anyone from that side, and the Jarvan will exist there simply to make sure that every 4 or 5 minutes or so the Kog'Maw's flash will be blown away. So after that, the bans from MMM sorry, are excellent. Since you take away the Malphite, as you mentioned, you take away that easy snappy engage, which you can't really if reliably dodge, especially in the live servers. You're not playing with 0 ping, you're playing with, I don't know, 30, 50 ping, and sometimes a rock just comes for you from the fog of war. You cannot actually reply in time. And on the other side, we see the Syndra and the K'Sante taken away, some solid solo lane picks, and the Aatrox is insta-locked, which I think opens Rumble in a very great spot right now for the meta.
Yes, indeed. Of course, Aatrox being nerfed again after the slight overbuff on the last patch, 13, 14, pushing him a little over the edge onto the 52% win rate from down of the 48. The Cho'Gath will be locked in, I think, in this case as a counterpick to the Aatrox, or more of the tank role in White Panthers team comp, since they already have plenty of engage. But as you said, you could have gone for the Malphite, which would have provided even like that snap engage onto the Kog'Maw and the guaranteed flash or pick in this case.
Yeah.
Malzahar. Another one of those champions you basically only target like one specific carry, and that was what MMM has currently built.
Yeah.
Aside from the Aatrox, who is able to split push or fight a very nice team fight, going like depends on the build, of course, if he will go for the lethality or more for the Gordon choice. But I think that will depend on his lane state.
Yep. And
Casio.
Cassius, the last
Please.
pick. It's an okay pick versus a Malzahar because the dot interaction keeps his shield down for longer. But on the other hand, you're playing with not enough range on your own. I don't know if anything like the Oriana could have been comfort because otherwise it's better. You just play with your ball as a range, not your auto attacks. You always take down the shield, and anytime that you think that you're getting engaged on, you pop an ultimate, you pull him back, and you can even interrupt his own ultimate. But after the first very good pivot, I feel like Wild Panthers Nemesis just um, what's it called? They just focus too much on killing the president, since right now more or less the team comp from MMM is protect the president. Kog'Maw is your president. You need him in a good health and a good state, 2 3 items, and having the range to carry. The Wild Panthers team just tries to assassinate that guy, and I think that they focused a little bit too much onto that without looking at the enemy solo laners who can actually take off from the laning phase and carry the game in the later stages.
Yeah, especially that Cassio, I think might turn out to be a problem, especially for the Jarvan engage, of course. Cassio having strong counter engage with her ultimate. Jarvan has no other way than to look at her if he engages. So that's a free stun right there. Also, as you said before, they focused a lot on killing the president, as you worded it. So there is not really any match for the Aatrox. So if Aatrox just happens to get out of control, they might have a problem stopping him if they use the Malzahar ult to lock down the Aatrox. Because who's gonna get the Kog'Maw in that case? Who's gonna keep the Kog'Maw in check? Or for this case, the Cassio with her massive DPS coming in later stages of the game.
Yeah, the Cassio with the massive DP is the Ivern who we're looking at him right now as a shield bot, but in reality he's two champions. He is that shield bot, and he's also Daisy. We need to remember Daisy as well because she can be extremely annoying. If Ivern builds something of the sort of realize everyone will be slow just by the Daisy, and we all know that Cho'Gath despises slows. He has no actual mobility in his own kit, so it's really hard for him to stick onto the enemy carries. Malzahar can be interrupted from his ultimate without anyone being in any sort of danger. You just pop the Daisy on top of him, auto knock up, and you're fine. So it's gonna be hard. It's not like they have the easy target. Someone will run in front of you anytime. Aatrox doesn't need to run ahead. Okay, Aatrox just will need to wait, and if the enemy engages, try and punish. But on the other hand, if the one who actually focuses too much on engaging is the side of MMM, I can see that Malzahar Cho'Gath combo being extremely useful. If Aatrox gets impatient, dashes in front of the enemy team, tries to get that sweet spot of the Darking Blade, then you can silence him, knock him up, suppress him, and make sure that the fight will go on as a 4v5. Even with a couple of ultimates down, you can still find your way around beating that fight.
Yeah. Now that I think about it, a lot of that pressure of Wild Panthers comes from their respective ultimates. The Malzahar ultimate, the Rakan ultimate, of course, being the engaging tool, like more or less one of the engaging tools. Jarvan's ultimate, of course, Flag and Drag does exist, but he does do a short knockup. It's not really there to lock anything down, and Isaiah only gets her actual safety from her ultimate as well. So if in a fight where ultimates are blown early, I think MMM definitely has the upper hand, with their DPS being mostly reliant on spammable abilities. Of course, the scaling comes into play here. The early ganking potential of Jarvan being quite prone to snowball a lane. That will I if I had to make a bet here, Jarvan will have to focus his bot lane in the ganking of his bot lane to get the Xayah ahead of the Kog'Maw, so there is no danger coming from there. Of course, the Braum will be there to counteract that, but we'll see if that actually comes to fruition in any kind of way. We will be going into a short break, waiting for the spectator delay to run down, and then we'll be on our first match of a best of 3 tonight. We have Wild Panthers versus MMM. I'm sorry. I'm very sorry. I don't have the name always written down somewhere. I should maybe do that. I'm just gonna call him Matrix, if that works out. On the red side, yeah, shame on me, shame on me. I do not speak that many languages. 3 is enough. And with that, don't go anywhere. See you in game. Okay, we have made it onto the rift after a first minute break. As you can see, we already get the wonderful experience of the spectating tool showing us one freeze frame.
Yeah.
There we go.
It's the usual. We hate to love this game and we love to hate it. So I think it's an abusive relationship, but it's fine. So we're into the Summer's Rift. I think that our eyes should be kind of glued onto the Jarvan in the early game. I want to see his pathing. If he's gonna be actually abusing the fact that he can get a very good leash from the Zyra Kandu, or if he's just warding, going topside, even if he's splitting them up, because versus Ivern, a lot of Ivern players just grid a lot. They tap 5 camps and then they try to get all the 6 camps immediately. And when they do that, they can be very low. If the enemy jungle just finds the timer, invade them, he gets a free kill and maybe a couple of camps as well.
Yeah, we currently only have the blue side Fog of War enabled, of course. Might wanna change that to
Yeah, there you go.
just press F3 actually next time. Okay, so we got the Ivern carving towards his top side, and the Jarvan, as I predicted, going for a pathing towards his bot lane.
Yep. He's starting with the easy camps, the solo camps, you know, all those early season, I like to call them junglers. They are hitting 1 camp at a time, so it's fine. He's gonna be a little bit late if he goes to full clear the Raptors and the Cracks, even though it's better now with the jungle companion, are still a pain for those junglers. And on the other hand, we see a weird pathing from the Ivern. I saw he tapped 2 camps in the bottom side, but I think he skipped 1 on the top side. Maybe I just missed it. I just want to see him get the blue, smite the Gromp, and then keep on clearing towards the top side. Maybe even try and find an early gank with the Aatrox, because he can be there level 4 extremely quickly.
Yeah, indeed. Of course, Aatrox loving the level 4, the first point into his Darken Blade, actually making it deal damage. And we already got our next pause. It seems one of the players' pings is not the greatest.
It happens.
Yeah, is there any... Oh, I just saw Jarvan already has backed and is now walking towards his bot side jungle with an extra longsword.
That is interesting to say the least. It's definitely something I would never expect. Will the longsword be there just to assist with the clear? Will it be just a creative pathing? Because right now the wave is slow pushing towards the side of MMM, from what I see. And he can try and find something, but they have not traded at all in the bottom side. Usually when you expect a gank to come from your jungler, you try to trade your HP bars a little bit, you try to make your enemy a little bit more vulnerable, unless they're luring them in with a false sense of security.
Yeah, the bot lane currently more or less even, stuck in the middle, but wave pushing towards MMM. Aatrox also going for his first back.
I'm not sure if it's just a
decided
bug.
otherwise though.
Yeah, the wave is a little bit weird.
Level 3 now available.
Okay, so we see some engage attempts from the side of the Wild Panthers bottom lane. The wave is huge. I'd love to see the Jarvan just abandon the Scuttlecrab and try to come and dive them, get their sums off, but the fact that they're full HP, have still access to all of their sums, make it a little bit more dangerous. And we see already how difficult it is for the Cho'Gath on the top side to do anything. He's a full wave behind, lagging a lot in the CS department, and of course starting with the TR will not give you the greatest combat start. It might make sure that you're never out of mana and can spam your Q to farm, but nothing else.
Yeah, I'm sorry, I'm currently experiencing some technical issues, mainly also in the ping department.
Oh, let's engage on the bottom side.
Not the
First
greatest
blood.
connection right now.
First blood for the side of the Wild Panthers Nemesis, and in the mid lane there are some heavy training. Turret so tanked from the side of Cassiopeia, but she hits one more Noxious Blast, and that means that the Malzahar cannot step up to try and punish. So the game once again chills down a little bit. That gank in the bottom side was very nice, especially considering the fact that the Xayah was the beneficiary of that sweet speed first blood money. So right now she has backed, she has the full Noon Quiver and can come back to a very optimal wave since the Kokomo cannot really weather as well as he'd like in the early stage of the game. So right now the wave should be frozen outside the Wild Panthers Nemesis tower. And maybe we're gonna see some support roaming as well. The two mid laners have reset, both of them coming back to the laning phase with a lost chapter trying to read up on the latest news. But in the top side, we're looking at it now, we see the CS differential plus the HP difference have changed side as the Cho'Gath somehow find some good trades and a way back into that CS number. We're getting the freeze frame treatment from Riot. That's fine. A good trade from the Aatrox will mean nothing as both of them have access to that teleport, have access to those flashes as well, and can just reset and TP back into the lane phase.
Yeah, also Cho'Gath and Aatrox, both very sustaining champions, having access to passive healing. Now Cassio deciding to engage, running down the Malzahar with no Miasma, no slows coming out. Wave currently pushing into the Cassio, while the Jarvan decides to pick up that Drake. First Infernal Drake, no Infernal Soul for this first game. Cassio ultimate comes out. Now Malzahar decides no.
Oh, the Ivern!
Use Stencil. Ivern now joins the fray and makes it possible for Cassio to pick up that double kill. Very nice counter gank by the Ivern there, trading 2 for 1 where both kills go towards that essential carry.
Yep.
Exactly
it was
what
a
you want
very
to
nice
happen.
idea from the side of the Wild Panthers Nemesis. The gank was a little bit too late as the Cassio had time to petrify gaze both of them simultaneously, then make sure that the Miasma also has access to them both. If any of the two members from the side of Wild Panthers have pulled the trigger a tad faster, I think it could have gone the other way around. But right now, 2 kills sitting prettily in the Cassio's pocket. She'll have, I would like to say, a breeze in the matchup, but that's not necessarily true from the moment that Malzahar will get access to his ultimate once again.
Yeah, that Malzahar ultimate being the turning factor there, that even makes it possible for the German to do anything. But of course, not enough. Slight banter, if you will, down in the bot lane. EU Machine poking on down on the Xayah, being able to proc the Braum passive and
Wait, that's a kill!
stun him out. We get some freeze frames, but that was just Cassio running at Malzahar, while Riot decides we still get the freeze frame treatment. At least on my end, I'm not sure.
No,
That
I
is just
am
my
watching,
connection in
and
this
the
part.
Rakan is almost dead. He needs to flash away from that Kog'Maw ultimate. Last moment save from them, and we see a really lack of commitment from the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis sorry, on the bottom side, and that gives the freedom to that Kog'Maw to free hit. Every time his W is up, he will just free fire on top of you. Oh, that's a flash over there. Featherstorm from the side of Zaya, and it's the 1-for-1 in the end. The Kog'Maw will not have enough damage in his passive to take one more kill from the Rakan, but from the side of Wild Panthers, the kill goes into the support's pocket, and the AD carry loses one more wave. Some trading going on in the top side, the usual top laner experience, just trading, making sure they contest some CS, not a lot of damage from any of the side. Nikirin has hit a couple of void spikes in a row, and the damage starts to stick up, especially since Aatrox hasn't got the time to auto-attack the enemy laner. His passive does not work as well on minions for quite a lot of years. And Ivern, together with Braum, are hovering the mid lane, making sure that his mid laner will be safe. Will he be though? Because everyone jumps on top of them. There's a Cataclysm. The damage is still not there. The shutdown, but will go into the pockets of the Jarvan, who will try and fight off Daisy as well. She is very, very persistent, but not tanky enough to get anything in return. The score right now shows 4-4, an even score, but still the side of MMM are ahead in terms of goal. That's a whole K of difference. The goal should be mostly in the top lane and the mid lane a little bit. Not huge differences left, right, and center, but there are still substantial, still some components missing. The cleaver is already completed for Aatrox, who will have quite an easier time fighting versus that Cho'Gath, who will most likely opt into buying that Tarsil after starting with the tier and going with the Bamisinder for the trading power. So that means that the Tarsil will be quite late into the game and maybe not have the value he'd like it to have. Now, Rocket Arts is already at the bottom side of the mid lane. There's a heavy trading. The Cho'Gath tries to flank, gets the DP from the side of Aatrox. Everyone gets away with their lives for now and under their turrets, while Cassiopeia needed to use her ultimate just to try and dissuade the Malzahar from engaging. The Rayfell will spawn in the bottom side, and Rocket Arts looks to find the flank, gets the flash away from the Aatrox. Vegas being started from the side of the Wild Panthers, and MMM are just walking in. They still have some summoners. There's a Wall Ender, gets two sweet spots and gets the Featherstorm, but Zaya is already there. The Rakan has nowhere to jump back, and the Drake is being gnomed from the side of the Cho'Gath, but at what cost? Yes, you get the second Drake of the game, but that's only second, and you give out two very important kills into the pockets of MMM.
Yeah, that Kog'Maw is starting to look scary now with those two kills in his pocket. The Rage Knife already completed, going for the Rage Blade first item. Cassia also on her Leandris already. You talked about the Black Cleaver being quite the valuable pickup, not just in stats, but also the passive making it able to for Aatrox to even trade into that Cho'Gath. The armor shred being very valuable in teamfights as well, making it easier for the Kog'Maw, even though, well, he kind of deals split damage, doesn't he?
Yep. That's
now, the Wild Panthers are able to pick up one or two plays there on the bot side before the 14-minute mark hits.
So that's some gold back into their pocket as well, at least. They are getting some items as well. I see the Gold Ringer already completed from the Jarvan, the Kraken Slayer will be the valuable pickup for Zaya. It's a very good starting item. Any of the non-quiver ones are, but Kraken, when you have an enemy front line to hit, is the best one. So maybe onto the Aatrox, who has a little bit more effective HP with the cleaver. But for now we're getting back into the lull state of the game. The next objective will be the Rift Herald. It spawns within the next 15 seconds, but neither of those teams looks in place to contest it. Maybe the Wild Panthers were a little bit closer with the Jarvan hovering onto the top side, but she elects to take the reset and clear her jungle again towards the top side. No, never mind. She just pinks the Rift Herald and changes her route towards top.
Yeah, Jarvan seemingly going towards that Rift Herald, even though okay, there's an slight engage down in the bot lane. Ivern is in the flank, but he has been spotted on that ward all the way up the lane. Seemingly looking for a dive here. Limka trying to dodge those artillery shots from the Kog'Maw.
Oh,
Teleport now coming in from the Malzahar. Quickness coming through, reaches the Kog'Maw, but not able to
it's a
for the
disaster.
Malzahar to pick him actually up. Ivern being slightly underestimated, a big damage from the feathers being pulled back. Not able to pick up any of the kills though. Both EU Machine will fall in the end, so does the Braum. Very close a fight down there in the bot lane with the Ivern and the Rakan remaining standing.
Yep.
Kind of was an up and down there in terms of like who was gonna actually win that fight. First it looked like the turn of MMM was able to take down the Zaya and Malzahar first, but then a big ultimate, leaving both the Kog'Maw and the Braum on very low HP, which we like to call the come on, just one more, just flash on them, actually.
Yeah.
I hope the flash deals damage, hopefully. But they will fall in the end, not before taking down both the Malzahar and the Zaya as well.
Yeah.
Summoners being blown down in the bot lane. And we are into another pause. Third one of the match so far. And depending on what team has decided to pause this time around, remember, both teams only have 15 minutes after that. They are officially forfeiting the game.
Yep, those are the rules. So poses are not Pokemon. You cannot catch them all, unfortunately. And that's the mode of the game. In the bottom lane, I think that Wild Panthers were a little bit too eager. They did commit the teleport, were not satisfied enough with just a flash, turned into the Braum, and Braum is not the target you really want to be spending your ultimates and very important spells on. So yeah, it got turned back onto them, and especially with Kog'Maw dying from the Rakan, it's gold effectively. I don't like the word wasted, but it's more or less wasted. It doesn't go to anyone who can actually build something to carry. The melee support items right now are not so efficient, not the greatest. Yeah, back into the game, I think. I see the timer turning 0 and then keeping us there, teasing us. We're gonna see the MMM team getting stronger. We see also the goal differences in every lane. The mid lane is a big one. It's 1300 over there. The jungle might seem to be in favor of Wild Panthers Nemesis, but let's remember that Jarvan does the scale quite heavily into the late game, and Ivern is quite an economical player. And of course, the top lane difference will hurt a lot with that Aatrox. Not having any effective way of stopping him except if you use the Malzahar ultimate, which once again I'm not sure you really want to use it all on him.
Yeah, also, of course, But there is a problem with the Aatrox though, since you don't especially have to stop him if the game does go late enough. With the Cho'Gath basically scaling infinitely, there is and only the Cassio actually able to take him down with the Leander's damage. Of course, Kog'Maw also much of a scaling monster, so really relying on those to take that Cho'Gath monster down into the late game. Basically, the only actual HP stacking champion is one. Now there is a Rift Herald being placed in the mid lane by the Jarvan, looking to take that mid lane tier 1, is gonna get it first tower gold also as a little bonus onto the side, but of course it is shared between 3 members of Wild Panthers. Now engaged towards the dragon fight. Gromhold is blown but instantly taken down by the Xayah. Now the Aatrox is in the back line, not able to take any of the members down, but the Num is able to find MMM's AD carry. Now out of the fight, Cassiopeia flushing forwards towards that Cho'Gath. Not being able to take him down though. Boblo very effectively zoning the Xayah and the Rakan out of the fight. Basically doing damage control in that regard.
Yep. It was a very split fight as well. It was going on 2 and then 3 fronts. The fact that they managed to get Cassiopeia with the Malzahar ultimate and then was not able to follow up with anyone did hurt Wild Panthers Nemesis a lot, and on the other hand they did have just enough tankiness to survive it all. You Machine, of course, did not respect the Cho'Gath outplay button where you can just walk up and bite on someone. Did pay it with his dear life, but in the end they did manage to get the Drake, they did manage to get the upper hand in the fight as well. Although the goal difference is still being kept very, very close.
Yeah, just under 500 gold currently. Oh, it is actually pretty precise 500 gold, but that can change in an instant, as we saw right there. Now the lanes having kind of changed around, bot lane having swapped into the mid lane, and the mid lane matchup going up into the top lane. But we are once again more or less in a lull state, while Ivern seems to have decided, yeah, it is time to take all of the camps. Is spotted on that blue trinket though.
Yeah. And it's a very interesting right now state we're seeing, because we're seeing 2 very completely opposite teams. On the one hand, MMM tries to get those team fights, try to challenge the enemy team in the laning phase as well.
There is the catch onto the Kog'Maw once again, not face checking into the blue side jungle there. Darwin locks down 3 of MMM's members and is taken down himself, but they traded back 3 for 1. Darwin taken down, but gives his life dearly, managing to lock down the Ivern and the Cassio. No more damage with that available. Aatrox is currently split pushing on in the bot lane. I currently do not see if he even has teleport available, while the blue side Wild Panthers just pick up that Baron for free.
Yeah, and with the Aatrox not being able to be there, I don't know, doesn't have the teleport, doesn't want to use the teleport, whatever it is, it's a complete disaster. Paired with the completely illegal pathing of the Kog'Maw, that spells really disaster for the side of MMM, as the Wild Panthers Nemesis play their macro play, managed to catch out the Kog'Maw, managed to get the Baron, and now the ball is in their side. They are the ones dribbling, they want to be the ankle breakers, and if they keep up that good macro, that good side lane pushing, we could see a first inhibitor getting at least exposed, if not opened, already with that first Baron buff.
Yeah, you talked about how the Cho'Gath does not like slows. Well, if he does stand in your face without you realizing it, yeah, he doesn't need to actually gap close. He's just there and eats your ass.
Yep, that is the truth. Now, I want to see a little bit more pressure. Still, the side of MMM can wave clear a little bit. The Kog'Maw does clear those enhanced minions a little bit easier than your average Joe. But if you just spend some of your Cho'Gath HP in order to zone him, it should be fine, it should be dandy. And you should be able to get those tower HPs under your belt quite fast. But in order to do that, you need to either gather your waves or to push and use your spells. And right now, I see none of those two from the side of Wild Panther's Nemesis. They are trying to do the first one by overloading onto the top side, seeing Aatrox being bought, and let's see if they are successful in their tries.
Yeah, another skirmish down up in the top lane. This time around, the Cassio being locked down with the Malzahar ultimate. Once again, the Braum ultimate not doing really that much. Limka is just gonna delete the happy little tree. Our beloved smoking. Okay, I can't say that, I think. The high tree.
Yeah,
but
it's a little bit Biden over here because it's Jover. I think the first inhibitor is being
is
closed.
complete Jova. Is top lane is Jover.
I think the whole game is kind of Jover right now. If you check out the gold difference, they were 500, 600 gold behind. Now they are looking at the 3k gold lead. The next break is spawning pretty soon. And the item spikes couldn't have looked any better for the side of the Wild Panthers Nemesis, who did look like they were the weaker team for the first 15-20 minutes of the game, and then they became macro gods. Now, with the next break being online, if the Cho'Gath ultimate is up, I'm pretty sure that MMM will just need to abandon it. Some trading going. The Daisy is being spawned, but the Root Caller will not find its mark, and Daisy beats us at you. Now, with the Winter's Bite being down, Braum cannot walk up. There's a knock-up onto the two. There's the ultimate, but Aatrox, he finds the flank onto the enemy backline, and the backlines are being split up. Both of them are getting exploded, but only the Aatrox stays alive now. He has to deal with the Cho'Gath, and in that 1v1, he is the enemy. He's not just an enemy, but he turns his attention onto the Rakan. He gets Infernal Chains. The Rakan will need to flash away, and Aatrox saves the day. That's an excellent flank. Nobody collapsed on top of him, and he gets away with a 3-0 scoreline.
Yeah, wonderful fight played by the Aatrox there. Really important flank there, and of course, as you said, he might have saved the game there for the side of MMM, who kind of looked already out of the game. Now, possibly able to pick up another Drake. The second Mountain Drake of the game. If Cho'Gath has something to say about that, he's just gonna jump down on that dragon, picking up the soul point for Wild Panther's Nemesis. Now, Cassio ult comes out, freezes two targets, but it seems Aatrox did not take that steal very lightly. Leaves all his rage down on that poor little Malzahar. I'm not sure what happened there with Cho'Gath finding a very nice steal, but we kind of lacked the stats if Ivern actually had his smite up. So
I think even if he had the Cho'Gath Gnome right now really does it. My team it's at 1200 for monsters and minions. Even if I
Yes.
even had Smite, it's only 1k. You need to use it together with some of the other spells. You need some good coordination, and it seems that the MMM side was lacking. But they get two more very important kills, and right now they are looking to be the king of the hills, at least in the team fight side of things. And the side of Wild Panthers really needs to find a way to split them once again. Since the point that Aatrox got reconnected with his team, he keeps finding those entries into the enemy backline. Xayah is dying, and I haven't seen her use her ultimate. Oh, there they are, there are the stats. And now we know every single ultimate is up and available, and the side of MMM just starts the Baron.
Kinda looks like an what we like to call an T1 Baron.
Quickness?
Quickness comes out, knock up down to 2. Bramble also, but the Jarvanel locks down 2. But there does not seem to be enough damage to take down that front line as EU Machine is melting that Cho'Gath. Now it's only EU Machine remaining. Limka and Rocket Arts are probably still possible able to take that Baron if they actually want to. They could flip it. I think that DPS would be there, but EU Machine, the only survivor, and it seems Wild Panthers are watching the cast as they take me up on my idea. The Braum has already respawned, but EU Machine does not have any vision, and Rocket Arts is just able to smite that away. So there is currently 4 blue buffs, 4 Baron buffs available on the sides of Wild Panthers Nemesis, even though they technically flipped the fight.
Yeah, they did flip the fight. If the Cho'Gath could survive, it would be so much easier. We see that those two top laners right now are the banes of the enemies. Both of them double killed the enemy backline, and both of them are the danger zone for the enemies. Now, with all of them up, with those 4 Baron buffs up, we see Wild Panthers Nemesis just grouping in the mid lane, playing that little NA and trying to force the enemy mid inner tower. They could also force the enemy top lane inhibitor, which is exposed, but of course it is not the best option when you can just take one, force the enemy team fight, force the enemy into submitting more of those towers, and then play around. We see the Malzahar going full towards the top side, trying to clear that wave, but still it's gonna take so long for the Mals to take that wave into a threatening spot, especially with no towers being up and available on the top lane, for the side of MMM.
Yeah, now EU Machine is walking forward, is gonna get knocked up though.
Yes.
The chains do connect, the Aatrox is gonna take down the Cho'Gath. So there is no real front line available now on the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis, and Boblo did get the reset, is just gonna force out the jump from Noxie. Now Limka and Noxie are left to defend this mid lane tier 2 turret, but it seems
Are we?
They are currently ending. They are ending.
Are we
There
base
are-
racing? Because the Drake is coming up, 2 people are resetting. I don't know if they're enough. Yes, they are in the end of the day because... No, wait, they aren't. They can just turn into the
They
Cassiopeia.
are. And no stun, the Malzahar ult is just gonna lock her down. She's not gonna...
It's enough.
Actually, she's gonna die. Never mind, it is enough. Boblo now finally made it back. Gonna punish Vampire for staying there for too long, but the meanwhile the Ivern is just gonna take the second Mountain Drake for his team. Shurelias is being procced by the Rakan, just gonna get his team to safety. They have traded Vampire in for an inhibitor, and also I think that was a Nexus turret, wasn't it?
towards that next start as well. And I think that if the Wild Panthers Nemesis team were a little bit more decisive, they could have run away with the game, or at least the second inhibitor as well, as in the mid lane they were pressuring, but they are too afraid right now. The Xayah is too afraid to walk forwards, to auto-attack the Aatrox. She knows two sweet spots and she's dead. Now, all of the people are alive once again. There is no soul point for none of them, and the next Baron should need close to 2 more minutes to spawn. Will we see a third Baron in that game? We're already 30 minutes in, and none of those teams have been able to threaten with closing the game so far. The Kog'Maw reached that 4 item spike, and if EU Machine will be allowed to just freely auto-attack with his W on for, I don't know, 3-4 seconds, I think the game will be over.
Yeah, the second EU machine is able to auto-attack freely any of the targets, the AoE damage from the Runaan's Hurricane will be quite a lot of damage to deal with for Wild Panthers Nemesis. I don't know how much of what I'm saying is actually coming through right now, because my internet is not liking me very much.
Picasso ulted, but everyone dodged it. She does get the spell sealed out. She gets a little bit of damage, but that's definitely not enough. Everyone and their parents are in the bottom lane. So we're gonna see if Wild Panthers will keep the pressure, or they know there's no neutral objective up for the next few minutes. So they're trying to overload to get those waves, but the wave flow strikes true for the side of MMM. Three people stay in the bottom side. Cassio just reset. They're not able to crush the wave into the turret. Maybe even the Cho'Gath could have tanked it right now in an off-tempo move, but they know that the Baron will soon be up and Nashors wait for no one. It is a very important objective. Those extra minions, those extra resistances, those extra stats can make or break the game for both of those teams, as the game could be as even as possible. That less than 2k gold lead means nothing right now. We only should look at individual item spikes, and the differences are slim for both of those sides. Mid-trial being contested by both of those teams. MMM getting it and trying to force Rakan out of the way, just trying to force some vision. J4 in the river looking for that flag, looking for that drag, but no one to be found in range yet, no one important. Aatrox just showed himself on the top side, and that means to the go button. They're trying to get 3 people into the Cataclysm, but the EU Machine flashed everyone, and he's just kiting into oblivion. 1 people dead, 2 people dead, and the Aatrox comes, but he's being suppressed, and he's being killed. The triple kill for the side of Xayah means that the Baron buff will go towards the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis, but maybe they don't even need it. The top side is exposed. There's only 1 person alive for the next half minute, maybe. They're just getting it and running into the enemy base. Malzahar does commit through his reset, but he has a teleport. No, that's a teleport. He teleports stop, but almost dies to EU Machine. He needs to flash away. She needs to flash away. I'm sorry. In order to survive, the inhibitor is the target for the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis, and the timers are being close to ending. 10 seconds for Ivern. The Cho'Gath tanks up the tower. He's a big boy. He doesn't care. The topside inhibitor is respawning, but nobody cares. Rocket Arts has a J, and Wild Panthers Nemesis manages to lead the series with 1-0. Oof, what an even game from both of those sides. Honestly, it shows that macro does matter, because MMM looked to be on form. Those individual skirmishes, those trades were good, but in the end of the day, they did not play them up well enough, and that's where Wild Panther Nemesis striked and managed to get away with that first win of the series.
Yeah, pretty quick game in the end there. No, very, very sorry about not being able to talk that much because my internet just shed itself near the end there. So I just kind of got a little slideshow of the game board. Very, very well played by EU Machine in the last fight, but it was not enough. He did not deal enough damage. His team died around him. And with that, Wild Panthers were able to close out the first game. Now, I think we are going to go into a short break for the teams to recover. Pick this. Also, now MMM has the decision to make what side they're gonna pick. They are obviously, as the losers, they are entitled to that. And we'll be back with the second round of MMM versus Wild Panthers Nemesis. Don't go anywhere.
And welcome back to the
Okay,
casting
we
test.
are back going into the second match. uh, we are looking at the second match of this best of three. We got MMM choosing the blue side
Mm.
for since they are the losers of the first run. I
Yep.
wonder how much their drafts will change up if they're just gonna run it back or uh, actually switch it up.
Well, I think the
As we
biggest
said
difference right
before, there
now.
are some
Mm,
picks open,
sorry.
not Fury,
Yeah,
that were not. Uh,
we're not touched.
yeah,
Yeah.
go ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Thing is, I don't know how much will the draft change. I think that what changes is the entrance to those neutral objectives. So if you want to prioritize Rift Health by a lot, you pick the blue side right now, and that may be the difference maker for the side of MMM. As what actually hurt them is they were not able to take the turrets. They were not able to slowly confine Wild Panthers Nemesis into their base while they were taking more and more objectives. So this might be the focus change for them, if I were to throw out a wild guess, because their early game was pretty good, honestly. They were winning bot lane, they were winning top lane, they did the outplay in the mid lane, so they were fine and dandy. Their draft was okay, and they were not really bothered by any of the enemy picks. Maybe bar the Rakan, I'd say, because they had no one to effectively stop the Rakan, so maybe they try to find something of the sort, or even ban Rakan. So the plan should be, once again, early domination into snowballing, not into just sitting idly waiting for the enemy to serve themselves into in the platter. And on the other hand, I think the only thing for Wild Panther Nemesis to look at is a way to wake them up a little bit and shake the enemies up in the laning phase, because otherwise their macro plan works perfect. They were 2-3k behind, and they were managing to get a couple of turrets in the side lanes without any answer cross map or otherwise from the side of MMM. Of course, I think we're also almost ready to get into the second draft of the series. So we're gonna see if my words hold any truth or they're just mindless blabbing of another color caster. Soon enough, we're gonna be ready for that game. Once again, a reminder: MMM as uh, the ones facing the defeat screen of the first game of that series are selecting the blue side and seems to have some kind of priority in that series. I'm gonna see if they are able to even up the series and bring it back into a best of one scenario, or if we're gonna have a sweep from the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis. Yep, sure. We're almost ready.
Switching to the draft.
As we say, we
I think, as it looks right now, I will not be going on.
it's fine. I always push everyone away from me, it seems. It's fine. I'm used to it. So we're almost ready to get going. We're now waiting for both of those teams to be ready so we can once again witness one more draft. And we are back once again. Now the draft has gone underway. The first ban will be the Jarvan. Respect is given. Those the picks that helped Wild Panthers Nemesis secure their first win of the series, and then the Zyra once again. We talked about the Zyra before the first draft. It's a very aggressive pick, even if it's not a gold pick in your hands, it's still a very nice choice. Now, we see a slight alteration from the side of the Nemesis team as they will lock out the Wukong, a pick which has been, I don't want to say heavily, but it's still been nerfed from the meta. Its clears have become worse, but the teamfight prowess is still up there. I'm gonna see if they will get the Kai'Sa out once again, as well as the Malzahar is being eliminated from the champion pool. Okay, so the hover is on Milio. It's one of the last, if not the last, Enchanter support still surviving somehow in the competitive meta, of course. Right now, we are in an amateur league. Those things have no absolute value, and with the Maokai being open, of course, the happy tree friend, will get locked down. The second tree for the side of MMM, they are very environmentally friendly, and what a pick. Nerfed to the ground, hypothetically, still king of the jungle, at least competitive wise. It's faced one more nerf in the last patch, if I'm not mistaken, with the Q clearing worse than becomes, but Tazaya will once again be the pick for the Nemesis girls. Let's see if they will partner it up with the Rakan immediately or if they're looking into answering the jungle pick first. Okay, neither is the answer. Victor is the pick away now that Malzahar is banned. They are going back into comfort zone. Victor is the most picked pick for Vampire, at least in solo queue. 34 picks in this split alone, with a hefty 56% win ratio. But the Kai'Sa being open means that it will be swiftly picked up for the side of MMM, but no flex going on as the Yone is also the pickup. Now, Yone might be a flex, meaning that could be a double flex. And as I'm saying it, and as I'm looking once again, I see that Yone is their top laner pick, at least lately in solo queue. Of course, lately the results weren't the best, but still it could be a double flex. In the end of the day, Kai'Sa going mid, Yone going top, Rakan will be locked from the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis, and honestly, I don't really like that Braum pick. I understand that now with an engage option being there for the side of Manassery, that means that it's a perfect follow-up crowd control, but still versus Rakan, it's not the best pick, and you should always have the first move. Malphite and Jax being taken away from the top side pool since they are not 100% sure that Yone will go towards the top side, but with that Malphite ban, I would expect him to go there. Malphite, of course, very nice into those attack speed dependent champions. You can just put 2-3 points into your E, slam the ground, attack speed, be gone. The Sejuani, of course, is still open. It was one of the OG picks into the Maokai. You can build Wormox. You then don't mind the saplings at all. You can go tank to 3, 4, 5 saplings, clear up the area of contention, go back into your jungle for 8 seconds, heal up to full HP, get that passive back up, and you're ready to fight, primed. It will be the lockdown, but it seems to be a defensive Sejuani, unless right now they go into a heavy melee top laner, maybe an attack speed top laner as well, or laner with auto resets, with whom they will be able to use the Sejuani offensively, trying to get whoever MMM has in the top side out of the comfort zone, either that's Yone or the Cassandra, which right now is a hover. And with the Cassandra pick, I'd love to see a Sejuani flex into the top side. I know that it's not the meta right now. I know that's not a lot of people are playing it, but that would open up a pick of Bolveth. I think the draft is almost perfect for Bolveth. It's only the Nocturne I don't really like into that pick. Nocturne, sorry, the Nautilus I don't really like into that pick, but still, no. It's the Gwen into the Cassandra matchup. A good use of the R5 pick, and of course, a pick that can set up a little bit the Sejuani's permafrost. So even though she will struggle in the early game, as Cassandra is a lane bully with his 2 cooldown on the Q, sorry, 20 mana, all those dashes, extra shield, W gets reset. We all know the copy pasta. We will see her scaling up into Oblivion, and once again, this time actually, the Wild Panthers have the scaling for them, I think, as the Victor and Gwen will be monsters in the late game if given the opportunity. We're almost ready to get into the draft in the actual client. Of course, the draft there will be repeated, and then we will head into the competitive integrity delay. Of course, those extra 3 minutes, making sure that none of those cheeky players can spectate themselves with Godview, as Mama Riot makes sure. But I think until then, we're gonna go into a short break as well, if our wonderful producer and observer doesn't mind. So we can chill a little bit, drink a little bit of water, of course. Gamers never forget, and we're gonna be right back as soon as we get into the actual game. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, as we are in the Summoners Raid for the second time today. MMM Wolfface versus the Wild Panthers Nemesis team for another chance into the series. For whoever missed that previous game, first of all, shame on you. Secondly, the Wild Panthers Nemesis managed to find a nail biter 35 minutes game and are leading the series 1-0. Now, we don't have the best aggressive junglers as we had a Jarvan in the previous game, but I'd really love to see the Sejuani trying to find some early gank angles as well. Even in the mid lane, the Yone can be very prone to ganks early on into the game, but right here we see Yumacine together with Nautilus setting up a trap, and if Lamok or Noxy walk up without the help of their minion wave, they will be in for a very, very nasty surprise. But they're working with the minion wave, so everything's fine, everything's done. In the mid lane, there's a little bit of poke going on, since there's a range advantage for the side of Vampire in the first... Actually, in the laning phase, at least in the first 2 levels, because afterwards with the Soul Unbound, the Yone is not really your average melee champion. And we see both of those junglers starting from the blue buff without a leash, none of those. But the weird part is that the Sejuani skips her Gromp and goes straight into the wolves. Now another hook connecting into the Rakan. Rakan gets so much damage on top of him, will soak up the ignite, will not die, but it's gonna be really weird for the laning phase of Wild Panthers Nemesis if he needs to take such an early reset. Heavy trading in the mid lane. Vampire has taken complete control of that laning phase. She's doing excellent in that early state, and the Sejuani is cross-mapping. She has avoided any detection. Her Q will need 12 more seconds in order to be active, and the Maokai walks towards the bottom side, but Nautilus gets one more hook. The exhaust onto Yumacine, who flashes away from the Grand Entrance, but now has no summoners whatsoever. Nautilus seems to be the target, but he's a tanky boy early on into the game. Gets one more anchor down, but the first blood will go for the Xayah, who managed to keep both of her teammates alive, even though Maokai was sprinting down to try and help. Not being able to find that angle means that Wild Panthers Nemesis walk away the complete victors. Speaking of victors, we once again look into the mid side. Vampire does a very good job. Somehow, she lacks a level behind the Yone. That's a little bit weird considering that the wave was pushed. But we see that her lasers strike through. She is always poking the Yone around. She does keep a little bit of mana in her mana pool, so she will be able to keep doing that. And there's no more pots for Yone, so there's only the Doran Shield. The Doran Shield sustain. Maybe a W if she managed to get it, but that was a very good Q from the side of Nautilus. Now there's a counter engage. You try to find any angle. They get on top of the Nautilus. He still has a flash. Flash away right now. The gravity field will not be an object, but on the bottom side there's a lot of damage onto Yumacine, who will still manage to run away fine and healthy. The Toasted situation is a little bit dicey. Nikki managed to get first into that level 5. Power Spy gets a little bit of HP back and wants to try and cancel the reset. Will not be able to do so. Soaks up 2 targets as well, so will not be able to healthily crush the wave if she wanted to do that. So also resets, let the wave sit almost frozen in a pre-rebound state on the top side. We'll teleport back with Rocket Arts being close by, having access to that first boots or socks since it's a level 1. They're pinging for a ward, but there's no ward to be found. They just need to wait for that wave to be a little bit more thin. But Boblo CEO making sure to check the perimeter, place a ward, does not find any Sejuani lying around, but still escapes narrowly from an ugly fate. Bot lane seems to have gone under the control of MMM, or at least a little bit. We see those hooks striking through once again, but the Grand Entrance does give a little bit of space together with a Gleaming Quill, which will heal up the Xayah early on in the game. So everything keeps itself even, with the Carl stacking up nicely for the side of Limaska. Sorry, Limoka. She will be able to get ahead in gold if the laning phase keeps going like that, with the first blood and of course the extra one kill and a little bit that Carl gives. But in the top side, K'Sante goes all out, still has that W, makes a path, no more needlework, and Nikiri just flashes away. Does not want to fight with the enhanced weapons of the K'Sante. So that's a good summoner advantage for the side of MMM on the top side. Both of those ultimates blown, but only one of them retains access to their flash. Oh, that's a very good W from the side of the Vicar. Now Yone has to come back. Both of those junglers, Nautilus, Miracle gets a very good Q on the Rocket Arts together with the ultimate. Rocket Arts has no flash, but has just enough HP to survive and use the Permafrost. Nautilus comes first, running into the scene, saves their jungler, but not before they spend their flash. And now Vampire, with no mana at all, tries to farm up that way before returning back to the base, filling up on mana and using that teleport. Ooh, Rocket Arts! Nice from that little raptor. It was too vicious for her. However, it just an execute, so no gold given away towards the enemy team. I'm not sure if the enemy team will actually realize it, at least unless they press tab and see a random death without them having any random kills. But yep, everything's still fine. The ward's been cleared, but while Panther's Nemesis seems to have plagiarized onto that wreck, with the Lost Chapter being completed for Vampire and her Caliber being blown, I think that mid-prio into a Drake contest should be the play, especially with Limoka not showing herself on the wave, letting it cross, making sure that Noxie has the safety she needs to be able to clear all that nasty vision. A lane swap angle from the side of MMM. They will abandon the Drake, they will put K'Sante into the bottom side to avoid that Gwen lane and maybe to contest that first Rift Herald. I was talking about the Rift Herald being a better option from the blue side early on in the game, and it seems that MMM did listen to what I had to say, as Mitragol is already there. They will be stripping that vision, using that control ward, making sure that the neutral objectives are getting traded, but they're still lagging behind the play as the top pressure is on from Nikiri, sorry. She has access to that needlework, so they're just abandoning bot lane, sprinting towards the top side, making sure that no neutrals are being swapped. They are here to contest if needed. With K'Sante being bot, with no teleport, I think MMM should just abandon the play, make sure that K'Sante will at least get a retaliation plate or two, and then try to play on the counter tempo. Because K'Sante going for that Aegis means that he has not a lot of damage. The plates are being chipped slowly but surely, those two plates going into his pockets, but no more, as Xayah will show herself into the bot lane within the next couple of seconds. That Noon Quiver plus Recurve Bow will make sure that the waves are being cleared as soon as humanly, or I don't know, birdly possible. And the Rift Herald is being dropped already, immediately one would say, into the mid lane, trying to get Vampire a little bit more lead. There's the Nature's Grasp into The prison going there, but the knockup is perfect. Vampire is getting knocked up like she's in a bouncy castle. Boblo CEO is there. One more auto attack is being needed. The all out goes all out, and the flash from Rocket makes sure that Miracle goes under her tower. There's a 4-man steal from the side of MMM. They will not be able to get anything else as Gwen is immune. The 1-for-1 might look good, and there's the actual duel. There's the actual fight. Look at that fight. The Raptor tries. It avoids the next auto attack, and Rocket will get her revenge. Well done. Oh, Gwen, of course. I think it is under her turret. I don't think she's under actual threat. With the snip, she will clear the wave. Get one, give out one plate, sorry, for the side of MMM. But of course, the bot lane got 3 plates, if I'm not being mistaken, for the side of the Nemesis girl. So it's still fine. The gold lead is still on the Wild Panther side, although a little bit smaller right now. And with the Yone closing into that first item, which will either be the Static Sheaf or, more likely than not, the Kraken Slayer, he is becoming all the more annoying and all the more dangerous. The game is being chilled down right now. The next indoor objective will not spawn for another 2 minutes, and it will be just Cloud Drake, not the most popular of Drakes of course, but judging on the previous performance from the side of Wild Panther's Nemesis, they will try and contest it to try and stack up that Drake soul win condition as soon as possible. So for the next minutes, we're gonna see just some trading, just some wave contesting, and with that Static Shift already completed under Kai'Sa's Bolt, we're gonna see those lanes being evaporating and her being able to move from mid lane if they're trying to overload any of those side lanes. Now, the first item already been completed. There's the Demonic Embrace for Maokai, the Jackshul, the Protean for... Oh wait, there's an ultimate on the top side. He's outside the gravity field and can still Q3, but he Q3's away. They just swap some HP with Vampire not having access to that teleport. She is under threat. Nautilus does walk away, but on the top side there's the Cassandra abduction combo, but Nitiri managed to get its Clipper Slash, and then the Needlework. One more Q will do the job, but the flash is good from Nitiri, means that she will survive to tell the tale, but still has to blow the flash and has to maybe return with the teleport. The top side, the Yone slices through those plates like they're butter. After one good trade into the Victor, he knows that he has the time to get 350 gold in his pockets with Mitra Gold, setting up a trap, getting his seedlings into the other brush, and with the top lane just pushing mid lane with the Static Shift. They will get the first red blood just a second before the plates expire, so that's so much gold into the pockets of Yone. Still not enough for him, just looking for the trades on the other side. The cross map is being done from the side of Wild Panthers. They will get the next Drake, and they will start stacking up those soul points, at least, sorry, the Drake points. Hex gates are being activated. The Hex tech will be the name of the game, will be the Elemental Drake for at least the next 2 to 6 Drakes. No, sorry, 2 to 5. And then maybe we're gonna have a Elder as well, but with the game being as close to even as possible, 500 gold being the difference, it's still open up for debate which team has the upper hand. Once again, the laning phase looks to be a little bit more stable. Wait, no, Rocket did not steal, but she will try and force Mark away from his own jungle. No full up, that means she has to respect Runaway as her bottom lane will get their first tower of the game, getting some gold under their pocket as well, and making sure the game stays dead even. No, the Wraith Herald is almost spawning. There's a few seconds for that next one, and we are looking for very slight trades as both teams are being very wary of spending their cooldowns, especially the longer ones. Any mistake means that the Herald will go towards the enemy side, and with Mitra Gold being close, that means the engage goes into the enemy bottom lane. The Rakan is being flown away, but not the Zarya. She flies up with the Featherstorm. The Rakan will die. The ultimate from Yone is excellent. 1-2 kills, and the third will follow up. Now Victor tries to get one back, but the Yone flashes in, gets the Q3, double kill for the side of Kai'Sa, and that's the clean ace for the side of MMM. Insta teleport of the Yone towards the bot side. They are greedy to take as much as possible. Not even starting the Herald, they wanna sweep the enemy turret line. Open, getting all that gold into the pocket. The game was dead even just a few seconds earlier, and now the gold lead says 4k for the side of MMM. However, with them spending so much time getting the extra couple of cabs, getting those extra turrets that mean that the tempo has flow towards the side of Wild Panther's Nemesis, they will more likely than not get that second Wraith Herald of the game. They will get a little bit of gold back, of course. It's just the retaliation price. It's nothing like the actual price of getting that fight. I think everyone would prefer that to be the case. It's still something back. If they manage to find an opening, they will be able to get all that standing gold named turrets into their pockets as well. The game does chill for a little bit. The waves will be getting traded for the next 2 minutes or so until the next Drake spawns. I think the next Drake will be a huge contention point, and if the gauntlet remains the same, MMM are bound to be the favorites of picking it up. They do have so many huge power specs right now. 2 items, 2 spells upgraded as well for the Kai'Sa. The Nashor's Tooth together with the Static Shift means that she has her Supercharge and the Void Seeker upgraded. 2 items for the Yone. The Infinity Edge is in his pockets, and the 3k gold lead in that mid lane. It's almost the whole gold lead of the game. There's a slight gold lead for the side of the Zarya, but that means nothing. And there's an engage. The Nautilus engaged onto the Sejuani, but that's not exactly the target you want. Sejuani is pretty much unfazed. She will donate that little wolf towards Sejuani, but look at the Yone. He does not find the Q3, so he snaps back immediately, gets a little bit of damage with one. I think that was one auto attack, a crit onto the Zarya. And it was excellent. We're looking at the vision right now for the right side. They see almost nothing. There's engage onto the Victor. Sejuani misses. Featherstone flies high, but she still stands. The Yone finds 4 people, and the double kill is already there. Looking for 3, looking for 4. And it's one more ace. Not clean this time, but they don't care. MMM looks to open up the enemy turrets as soon as humanly possible. Waiting up for the wave goes. The Drake has spawned. They don't care. They just have turrets in their eyes. They have all those excellent fights that Yone is paying dividends for them. All that extra pressure that they gave the Yone from the top side, all those extra plates, all that tower gold, right now pays itself back. With all those winning team fights. Tower number 4 has fallen. Drake number 3 is secured. They break the streak that Wild Panther's Nemesis had so far. On the other side, they're trying to just get the Baron. The damage is there. It's slowly burning, but there's a vision. There's an engage on top of the Rakan. And the Cassandra tries to find an end of Ground Tracers on top of them. The feathers have been pulled back, and the objective bounty goes towards the side of Wild Panther's Nemesis, but now they must flee the scene because the crime was committed. Rockets does sacrifice herself. 3 people still running. I think that they can find an exit. 3 Baron buff go into the pockets of Wild Panther's Nemesis plus 1500 gold. That's a good equalizer. They're still so far behind, but maybe with that they will find some fight. Maybe not, because the side of MNM looks very high. Anchor tracks through, and the damage is so much. Nothing matters. The Chaos Storm just tickles the enemy team, as Victor still has no damage. And that's the 5th turret as well in the face of a Baron buff minion for the side of MMM. No fighting with outside again right now. Deals some damage onto the Yone. The needlework has been popped, but that was still little, and honestly too late as well. She's the only one with a Baron buff, she's the only one who can actually put some pressure. The Rift Shell is being popped in the bot side. I think it was expiring, and Rocket tries to push the wave. The Cassandra, of course, is very close. The tower should drop right now, as it was 1 HP before the fact as well. So that's one more objective bounty. Trying to keep Nemesis afloat. Trying being the keyword as well, as they are still more than 6k behind, lagging so much in the gold race. They are playing the capitalist game, and they are honestly losing. Less than 2 items behind. The Yone is the richest man in the game, only one richer than 10k gold, and he almost reached the 12k mark. With the vision control going around from the side of Nautilus. They have been finding all those great engages on those good targets. The Victor started the laning phase on such a high note, but it didn't even matter in the end. And they're just diversifying their profits. They're just spreading the Nemesis team as thin as possible. With the Yone being 3 items strong, he's pushing in the double waves into a Gwen. 3 people in the mid lane, 1 more in the bottom lane, where the last inner turrets of Nemesis stands. Of course, Victor has a good amount of wave clear with his E being upgraded. It's the first pro usually any Victor upgrades, but she knows that she cannot actually contest anything more than just clearing the wave. Her mana pool not strong enough, her damage not being there, while on the other side they have everything that they wish for and even more. It seems that Nemesis right now are not playing League of Legends, they're playing Bloons. Maybe the 6th one, it was given away for free a few days before. Maybe it's still given, as they are tower defending as best as possible, trying to farm up, trying to get those items, trying to not die, to not give up anything else. And so far they're succeeding, but so far I think is also the key. The bot lane tower needs a sneeze, and it will drop as well. And the new machine, together with her 2 tank bodyguards, are not leaving the mid lane enemy in their tower spot, because there's nothing else to contest. The next Drake will spawn shortly, less than a minute time. That means that it's time to reset, spend all their hard-earned gold, come back stronger, keep the pressure on. They will most likely equalize the Drakes. Wild Panthers, they don't really need to contest anything. Maybe bar the Baron, which will spawn a little bit later, as they have secured themselves the first 2 Drakes in the game, but still, it's so hard for them to find any more income. Now Rockets will smite the blue buff just to make sure that she'll have it, as her jungler is not completely hers, honestly. Victor, first one hitting the level 16 mark, he's a very strong boy. A lot of things going down in the Panthers top side jungle. There's nothing there, but there's some vision being set up. Maybe they try to find the Yone. He instantly uses the ultimate. No ult used from Rocket Arts. They just pressure the laning phase. She makes sure that the Gwen won't be able to push, and she is able to push, but it's just trading cards. Of course, trading even when you're lagging behind, it's always beneficial for the losing team. So if especially that turret together with the objective shutdown bounty that it gives any spike to the Panthers team, it's always super worth. Of course, that also means that your only remaining defenses are the inhibitor lines, and behind nothing more. The vision is being taken from the side of MMM. They are getting the lights on, and now the big purple worm, our Baron, Mr. Nasher, has just spawned. But MMM doesn't seem to be really interested in getting the Baron buff. They are chilling so far, they're just pressuring the waves. There's one more reset, getting the Spectral Skull for Maokai. Not the best power spike, but it's still good when you're facing a Gwen who's hitting the 2 items power spike, and now the Baron is being started. There's so much damage, but it's on vision, so it's still stealable. The Sejuani is being close, Yone is getting caught, and the damage on top of him does not land. The steal is not there, but still Sejuani almost gets a kill. The Victor dies, flash from Limoka to try and get the feathers out, but that's not enough. The double kill will go towards the side of the Kai'Sa, and on the other side they're trying to get the tree chopped down. Chop, chop, chop. It's still a very chunky tree as Mitragol tries to run away. The phase rush being poked, still knocked up and dies. 3 Baron buff strong for the side of MMM. They're trying right now to pressure the Panthers. Sejuani is getting caught now. She will queue sideways, the only way she could find an entrance. The one Void Seeker gets after the other. The damage slowly lands, but the rest of the Panthers found a good reset. Now the gold lead being bigger, and with 3 Baron buffs, will MMM be able to finally break the last defense from the side of the Panthers, as Nox is still looking unengaged. He found the Cassandra, but that's just a tank, and he has 1300 dashes. We've all seen the copy pasta once again. They will just part ways and nothing more happens. Game chilled down a little bit. MMM spends a third of their Baron buff doing almost nothing. They gave some gold back. That was very important gold for the side of Wild Panthers Nemesis, and I may sound judgy for a team that's leading in the gold draft by 8k. That was not the best play, because you're giving power spike towards the enemy team, power spike which they were missing and you had, without actually breaking their last line of defenses. The longer Wild Panther Nemesis can remain in this game with 3 inhibitors intact, the best their chances are, the best they can farm up. They actually managed to get away Nature's Grasp from Maokai somehow, without Maokai being on the offensive, and Boblo CEO is being chased away on the bot side, and that's of course because Yone is pressuring top side by himself. They're trying to find the angle, but the engage goes in from Rocket Arts, and the quickness goes in from Rakan. No, there's not quickness yet. Now it's being popped. They're trying to get Mitragol, and Mitragol will die for the price of the top side inhibitor tower. The EU machine tries to get in, tries to find an angle. That's a lot of damage onto Vampire, but that's still not enough. Limauka manages to get away from the anchor, but that's one inhibitor drop. The next inhibitor turret is under fire, but Boblo CEO cannot end his job, and now he's under fire himself. He goes all out. He manages to get away from the needlework, and Noxy is still alive, but he tanks one more anchor. They're being trading support. Nikiri, very nice Zonias to survive from Boblo CEO, but he has a Q3. He flashes in. That's one more Q, and that's enough. He's on rampage, killing the enemy top player, but now he has to flee. He has not been able to secure the next inhibitor, but he's able to secure one more kill and a little bit more for his team's gold lead. What a chaotic fight from both sides. Somehow somehow Wild Panthers Nemesis are still alive while being so far behind. Somehow they're still threatening the next Drake, the Drake Soul. It's 2k, it's 1k, it's theirs together with a bounty. And now Yone wants to make their escape difficult, but doesn't manage to do anything more than that. I see 3 items strong right now. That web is together with a Bramble Vest. 3 items strong is the Zaya as well. Opening in for another reset, almost completing her Phantom Dancer. She's matching the Kaisa, and the Kaisa is 6, 0, and 10. Of course, the Yone is the big bad boss of the game. Almost 5 items strong. He's going full, but I expect to be Death Dance. There's a lot of 80 damage from the side of the Zaya, and he'd like to survive that. Maybe the Cleaver. I don't really like the Cleaver. Well, that's fine. The Baron buff has expired. While Panthers Nemesis are still looking to wave clear. The Yone is looking to open up the bottom lane inhibitor turret. He's trading into Nikiri, making sure she's not healthy, making sure her HP bar is being chipped away, but with that Victor, the waves are being evaporated. The way into the enemy nexus is still not clear, unless of course the U-Machine keeps hitting those Void Seekers. Those may be the answer. Look at that damage. There's a Nature's Grab. They managed to get 2 only for the count, but there's a very good tanker onto the Zaya, knocking up everyone. And the Yone tries to find the flank, but he finds his team being slaughtered under the enemy turret as they keep on chasing. Mitracle flash away, but he's getting flashed on and will die more likely than not from the last little. Yone finds engage onto the Zaya. Zaya pulls the feathers back. That's a lot of damage together with the Tower Shot, and a teleport comes in. Rocket Arts will sacrifice herself for the sake of her team. More likely than not, one more auto attack will do the job. But on the other hand, did they kill Yone? No is the answer, and Kaisa goes godlike. Two inhibitors now drop. Now the job for MMM looks easier than ever. Unless, of course, the GA is still up. The GA is somehow still up for Yone, and that can be the game breaker for Wild Panthers Nemesis. Cassandra now tries to secure that Scuttle Crab. Rakan is being an annoying bird. Both of those teams closing in. If Wild Panthers loses that fight, that means game over. They have no jungler, they have no smite to properly contest that Baron. They need to contest the fight, and Gwen with no teleport is on top. They know that they have the numbers advantage. They know they can just pull in the Yone, and that's what they do. Sejuani is running as fast as her takes here, but the Baron is already being started. 7k, there is no vision. Rakani gets in with the quickness, gives some vision. Sejuani is rooted, she gets in. No, she doesn't get in. The Yone gets her out, and on the other side, who dies? It's the Nautilus Baron, taken for 4 for the side of MMM, and EU Machine just snipes the enemy team left, right, and center. Void 6 the way, and Void finds a kill onto the Zaya. Now the way looks open. The Yone has teleported. The enemy team cannot do anything. They drop like flies. The Yone will end the game with a split push or even the Cassante. That's the equalizer. That's the series we all like to see going through the last game, and that's MMM striking back. Oof, what a game, honestly. MMM, oh, that's me twice. MMM finds their way back into the series. They find a way to dominate, and yet it looked so difficult for them. The game went on for 35 minutes. 3 Barons, if I'm not mistaken. They struggle so much with closing games, with cracking open the Wild Panther Nemesis armor, but they're just 1 game away, 1 win away from stealing that series for their own. Will they be able to do it? Will Wild Panther's nemesis strike back? Of course, that all remains to be seen after a short break for those couple of riffs. And we are back here to see the third and final match between Wild Panthers Nemesis, who have opted into the blue side once again, and MMM, who did manage to dominate in the second game of the series. Straight into the draft, will not steal away your precious time with any foreplay. We see the Ash and the Zyra taken away from the champion pool immediately. And let's see if the draft will look similar to that of the first game between those two teams. The Jax once again being taken away. The Malzahar will follow up though, and let's see if MMM will put the respect on Jarvan's names. What Jarvan, sorry, names once again, as they did ban him away in the second game between those two teams. And I'd expect the Mauka. No, the Zaya. They will let the Kaisa go through, and they are now challenging the Monastery girl, the Monastery boys. If they leave the Zaya, the Kaisa, sorry, they will pick it up themselves more likely than not. I'd expect at least it's so strong in the meta. Yep, there it is. There's a hover and there's the lock, ladies and gentlemen. Immediately it's been taken away and they will have that powerhouse, but MMM had their answers ready immediately. And they lock in, insta-lock, may I say, Maokai and Jinx. And I cannot stop cloning. I started that procedure by mistake. You will soon see 3 and 4 revs. It's all rev now, guys. I'm sorry. Well, there's a pick we haven't seen so far in this series, and it's a powerhouse as well. I think it's been slightly nerfed once again for 13-15, but it's still really strong, especially versus some immobile picks like the Jinx. If they manage to pick her up, it will be very strong, unless, of course, it's a by mistake pick. No, and the Amumu. Okay, now there are double flexing. Both the Amumu and the Rel right now are double flex for jungle and support. Of course, I see a couple of Amumu games for their jungler. I don't see any Amumu games for their support, so Noxy maybe not versed enough in this pick. On the other hand, I see no role games for both of them. In solo queue, the Alistar is picked insta as the answer into role. That's a typical answer, a very good one, may I add. Even if you flex right now the rel into the jungle, you're still gonna be versus a melee engage support, and Alistar is very good into those. Second phase of the draft, once again, Malphite being taken away from the side of MMM. And Wild Panthers Nemesis are still... No, they're not still talking about what they're gonna ban. They are banning away the Syndra first. And together with the Maokai and the AP that he provides, I'd like to see a Yone ban as well. It was a very difficult pick for them to deal with last game. Whereas MMM will ban away the Cho'Gath once again. Few seconds remaining for the last ban of the series. The Yone will indeed be taken away from the hands of the mid laner of Monastery. Very good choice. And into a lot of crowd control. What do you pick? You pick Olaf, it seems. Although without knowing your opponent, it's a little bit risky. They're still maintaining on that path and will give the counter pick option to their mid laner. Now you can pick something aggressive topside if that is Nikiri's playstyle. She does opt in into Gwen and Ornn a lot. Ornn right now will be very, very bad. And there's a Vladimir lock, more likely than not for Vampire. With that name as well, it does look like a good match, and we're waiting for the last pick, the last solo laner as well, unless Amumu is a solo laner, which I'd rather not see. Ornn will be picked into the Olaf. It's a heavily losing matchup. Of course, Ornn in the early game can actually make magic happen. He is a demigod after all, and can punish some Olaf's over aggressions, but as the levels go by, as Olaf gets his first item, I think this matchup swings quite heavily. And with the last pick being this Cassiopeia, I will need to side with that MMM draft, honestly. I think it's very nice, and unless Amomo and Rel find those miracle angles for the Kai'Sa to just instantly snap into the enemy backline, or if the Vlad actually takes over, it's gonna be really hard. The Olaf, he doesn't have the best targets to hit, but he can deal with your front line forever. The Cassiopeia can melt you, and we saw the Cassiopeia getting ahead early in the first game of the series as well. Oh, we saw both of those draft chat. You can also form your own opinion. You don't need to hear the multiplying ref and whatever he has to say. But I'll leave you by yourselves to form that opinion, as the draft will shortly be replicated in the live client, and we're gonna be right back as soon as we jump into that final game of the day. Hello and welcome back for the last game of that banger series, ladies, gentlemen, and the rest of you gamers. We're here to witness who will advance from this playoffs bracket. On the blue side, we have Wild Panthers Nemesis facing against the red side opponents MMM Monastery, something Matrix. I don't want to butcher the pronunciation without actually reading it.
Minions have spawned.
And it all ends here. And now one of those two will be able to secure the victory. The others will have to deal with the loss. Now, what do we see? We see a Vladimir with teleport flash. We don't see those random summoners that usually Vladimir gets, like ignite and ghost. And also, that's a first for me. I see a Norn starting with a corrupting potion. Monastery Manasya Matrix, sorry. So it's Monastery Manasya Matrix. Monastery Manasya Matrix. I got it. Oh, a good trade in the bottom lane. Alistar usually is not a champion until level 2, but when you engage on top of him, his Q will decimate you. Very nice pulverize over there. They are getting the first push now. The run to level 2 starts. Rel has started with Q. Both of them will get it. No! They miss it for one minion, and Alistar engage very nicely, of course. Now is the time to re-engage if they want to. Rel being so low means that they will likely not, as they don't want to give out an early trade kill. Boblo hits one undertow after the other, shreds the opponent's armor, and is winning some of those trades. Never mind, one more engage. Alistar just finds the angles, doesn't give a damn about Rel. Gets on top of the Kai'Sa, trades his HP for hers. That's always gonna be worth in my books. Now, I wanna see that corrupting potion action from Nikiri as well. Honestly, I've seen Horn starting with the refillable potions so they can buy D-Shield after a few minions, but now it's a different. Now Boblo CEO uses his ghost. Flash away from the undertow, used very nicely from the side of Nikiri. Means she will not get solo killed, at least so far, but now Rocket is in a weird spot as there's a cow and a snake closing in on her. That's so much crowd control. She flashes, ignited, and dies to the tree. First blood for Mitrogol and his Maokai. Of course, you always prefer that to be given away to the Jinx. That's still a very nice option. Boblo always threatening, and the wave on the top side is so disastrous for Nikiri. So we need to either reset and TP back to be able to trade her HP once again, or just abandon a lot of CS while Boblo very nicely does make sure that she cannot farm a lot. Also very nice laning phase from the side of Alistar. Of course the Jinx is not being able to follow up extremely well. It's not a kill lane, but it's always a very threatening lane. Now, with a moment being on the top side, Boblo CEO is being a little bit overextended. That's a lot of HP, that's the shield, that's the solo bolo, ladies and gentlemen, and flashes away. A moment can follow up. Of course, Rocket has no flash, and that's a great escape from the Olaf as well. A 2-0 quick start from the side of MMM, but now in the mid lane, there's Noxy. Managed to get the Crushing Blow, but the crash down is flashed away from the Cassiopeia. A very nice start once again from the side of MMM, who have shown their individual prowess in their laning phases. They have been getting the better side of their opponents, but of course it's that macro which needs to be fixed every time and time again. It gives Wild Panthers Nemesis the advantages, and of course has given them the first game of the series as well. Now, very nice reset from the Cassiopeia will give the Lost Chapter Spike, and a very nice slow push being set up right now from the bottom lane of MMM. If I would be Mitrogol, I would sprint into the bottom lane and try to dive the Kai'Sa with the Rel. If you manage to keep them so far behind with all that stacked wave start dying before them being able to touch it, you are giving a free scale to that Jinx. I see some pings, but they're from the side of the Panthers. They are making sure they're answering with numbers. Amumu is hovering bot side, and the wave is just being crushed with no else, nothing else being acted upon. Sorry. And they're using that pressure to initiate the first break of the game, which will be an Infernal. It's not the best early game break, but it scales up nicely as you scale up your team, and with 4 to 5 people in your team just building straight up damage, at least initially, it will pay dividends late into the game. Now, Mumu has sneaked into the bottom lane. No way to get into the brushes so far. We'll need to wait for the wave to crash, to go further down a little bit, and both of the junglers are looking to find something more. The Alistar is getting caught. Very nice pulverize into the flash, but the auto attack will be there. No, it's not there. He heals with his passive, and EU Machine just clenches away the ignite and is excited. Has that lethal tempo. The flash W does not find any good mark, and Noxy survives with 1 HP, as is Mitrogol. The Void Seeker finds its mark, and now they're trying to find a way back into the fight, but it's not there. 1-for-1 in the end of the day. Somehow 2 of those Wild Panther girls survived that onslaught. And where you're behind, trading even is always better than not trading at all. So that's better right now for the side of Wild Panther Nemesis, but it's still a kill going into the Jinx's pocket. That's something you want to avoid. It's a life or death scenario for you. You don't want to see that Jinx scale up faster than normally. You don't want to see her curve getting flattened. You want to see her suffering right now. Yumasin is not suffering at all. They gave him a scaling ADC. He is fair and square in the CS department. He has access to those boots so early into the game. Now, both of the junglers are close to the middle. Not sure if Rocket realized that Mitrogol was there, but both the cow and the horse are there as well. It's a 3v3, and we're looking to engage into the rail. There's the knock-up combo. She will crash down. No, she will not! And the kill will go into the Cassiopeia, was the super mega death rocket just came sideways. One more engage. That's just a lot of engages from the Alistar. I'd love to see maybe even the phase rush. And in the bot lane, they're winning as well. Yumachine having access to that red buff means that the Maoka couldn't trade. And that means lane advantage, a solo plate for the Jinx, and everything in the wall that she wishes for. Now, Alistar threatens with a dive, but there's a Rel making sure that her ADC will not get threatened more than needed and will not die for the first time into the game. Yet a very early gold lead in the size of 2600 gold for the side of MMM. Some very nice trades from Akiri, utilizing that Bramble Vest and the Corrupting Foot very nicely. Every time she weaves an auto attack into the enemy laner, she uses that. A very nice auto as well, but here they caught Alistar. He has the Unbreakable Will. They re-engage onto him, and in the top side they used the call of the Forge God. He answered, but there was nothing more to be done there. Maybe if another underdog hits, yes, he tries to dive. The flash is excellent, and the auto never connects. That's the answer from Nikiri. Amumu still in the bottom side, still tries to threaten with a dive. They know that the Alistar has no ultimate, and there's the engage. Curse of the Sad Mummy onto the 3. Then Nature's Grabs gives the space, and Your Machine runs away, gets the first kill, gets the second. That's a double kill. She's excited, she's manic, she's having that lethal tempo, and she's indeed lethal. Miracle makes sure that the Rel cannot escape, pushes her away. A third one into Yuzma's in pocket, and the plate falls down into oblivion. Nobody collecting the gold. MMM are dominating. Almost a straight K gold lead. 11 minutes into the game. That Jinx will be a huge issue. Kraken Slayer plus Berserker Greaves already under her belt. 4.7k gold. She's a rich individual. And even with some periodic outplays, some kills, we see gold leads all across the board for the side of MMM. And while Panther's Nemesis cannot answer blow for blow. Now Noxie will get Noxian blown. She tried to clear out some vision, not able to. The next Drake spawning in 5 seconds time, and even Boblo CEO abandons one wave to make sure that they have the vision control. There's nothing going on in the cross map while we try and set up for the Drake. There's a nice control wards, but Rocket Arts is alone. They are engaging onto her, but there's no follow-up. There's no damage dealer there from the side of MMN. Now the Cassiopeia comes, but now there's also a teleport from the Ornn. Alistar still has his ultimate, still hasn't popped it. Flashes on top of Rocket Arts, and Rocket Arts should be dead. There it is, there's the excitement, there's the knockup combo, and the Yumasin is unstoppable. But Cassiopeia will be the first target for the side of the Panthers. Miracle still looks for something more. He wants to catch Vampire out. There's no other damage dealer. He'll need to blow his last everything for his top laner on bottom laner, because they have plates in their eyes. One more solo plate for your machine, and in the top side, if I'm not mistaken, there's 2 down for Boblo. 3 down for Boblo and counting, and he still doesn't have the greatest wave clear the board. Now the Tiamat helps him a lot, yes, but as soon as he completes the Ravenous Hydra, even without getting any of those stacks under his belt, he will be able to one-shot the range minions. Now, attempt numero dos for the Drake. Cassiopeia is faster, but there's no Alistar, there's no Jinx, and I think MMM will just abandon the play. They will accept the offering of the teleport and will give up the second Drake of the game. But if we take a yonder up there in the scoreline with the gold lead, is now 50% higher than it was before. It was 3k, now it's 4.5k for the side of MMM. There's a bandage toss, misses, finds nothing, whereas Zerel is taking fire or slaps from the Alistar. With just trading some HP bars. Mitragol is bottom lane. He will have access to that ultimate in a moment's time. And he's trying to find that perfect lane gank, that dive scenario, that bait for his team. Any of those will work. Rocket's again in the mid lane. He finds the bandage, has that Curse of the Sad Mummy, and he's gonna be a happy mummy if that play works, and it does work. Vampire collects that bounty, that kill. Alistar is tanking up the kill, but now the vision drops. There's nothing else. They're waiting with the wave, wanting the enemy team to come and try and find an engage. Nature's Grabs against the flash from Limonka, but Rail is being caught. There's crowd control over crowd control, and she can never move. The kill goes into the pockets of the cow, but they don't care. The repeat gank will come now. Headbutt into Pulverize, into Slappings, and Yumasin is actually dominating. Lane at bottom lane for MMM. Vampire comes, tries to cover her team. The damage is great, but the turret is down. Jinx is excited. He's waiting for the engage. She does manage to pull the blood away, and not Noxie tries to find an answer, finding only a Maokai, staring them down. They will not attempt anything further. Now Boblo may try to look for something more, but I think that he just wants to push wave after wave after wave to try and keep that Herald prior for his team. With the bottom lane tower being down, Jinx is closing in on that huge spike of the Infinity Edge. And that will make her actually unstoppable, I think. The damage will be great for her to have. And now they will have to just push out the mid lane. Of course, Cassio has no teleport for the next minute or so. They will still have their strongest member up. The Jinx is 602. And they will just start up the second Rift Herald of the game, with which they should be able to open up at least the mid lane tower. The top lane shouldn't need much help. Maybe if they show themselves up top, Nikiri should respect and leave the area. Now, there's no contest, as it should be, for that Herald. The gold will be split. No, it goes only into the pockets of Mitragol, but that's fine. And maybe they're just waiting for the spikes. They will have that Herald in the moment the next Drake spawns. And the Cloud Drakes, and especially the Cloud Soul, is so good for the likes of Olaf and the likes of Maokai, but maybe not the rest. Mikiri is slowly but surely suffering in the matchups. He's playing the absolute weak side, lagging 40 CS behind, lagging 4 turret plates. He knows that she's gonna be useful later on into the game. Her rules might change the outcome of the game if they can find on an even footing. The thing is that MMM actually has the high ground right now, and if they have something to say for the matter, I think what they're gonna say it's over Anakin. Because that gold lead has crossed the 6k mark and we're not even 20 minutes into the game. Game does slow down a little bit, they're just trading waves. Boblo just pushes the wave immediately. He's not trying to punish Nikiri any longer, he's just trying to farm up for his own items, make sure he's as strong as possible, and actually leaves the top lane first, as he has the no teleport of his own to join the team fight. The Herald is being popped in the mid lane, making sure that that tower will drop. I don't think there's a way for them to save it, or actually there is, as I didn't see the HP, and now I'm sounding foolish. There's a nice engage onto 2 people, there's no one close, and now he's being crashing low. He's still getting more damage out, and look at that damage onto Noxy. Teleport being gone away from the side of Nikiri, who will step into the traps of Jinx. Now they have the first move into the river, but in the bot lane Cassiopeia is being caught. Look at all the damage. The flash is excellent, and there comes Mitragol, who will catch Rocket Arts and Vampire. Vampire just melts away while Rocket Arts just gets the mummy back into his coffin. Second Drake should be history for the side of MMM. They will manage to secure it, whereas smartly the Panthers will try and find something on the other side. There's a Ragnarok, he needs to auto, he finds the autos. There's an excellent ultimate, but the flash makes sure that the Olaf can follow up, and he sees immune forever while the cow is on a killing spree, ladies and gentlemen. That's not something I've usually seen. Mitragol gets one more kill under his belt, and that makes them 2, that makes them 4, that opens up one more turret. And that's all without the Cassio, as the Cassio teleported towards the top side to make sure that they can open up as many structures as possible. Baron will be spawning in a couple of seconds time. Let's see if actually well, Panthers can't do anything else about it. Now, Cassie is being caught by Fangase on top of one, but the bandage top strikes through, and that's a CC chain we've never seen before. He will never get to move, and the biggest CC of all is dead. He was overextended by a lot, and that means that right now, once again, the Panthers will be actually threatening the Baron. Mithril is there, has access to Nature's Grasp, he will be waiting, and Olaf is in a flank position. That's very nice. The Nature's Grasp is there, and the Alistar is not the target you want to fight. Mithril gets the first kill and leads on to the enemy jungler, and look, there's the Ragnarok, and he rocks and rolls onto the enemy team while Jinx crits all over everyone. Double kill for the tree, and the Baron buff is just the cherry on the top for MMM, who got slapped in the first game, but they are swinging back. That was a smite and a half. Not that it matters, honestly. There's no way for the enemy team to steal it, but still. Now the gold lead is close to 12k, and thus the observer very kindly shows us it's spread all over everywhere. The mid lane is only 1.7k for the side of MMM, because the rest of the lanes, oh, they're hurting. Top lane almost 3k, jungle 2800. The ADC, ladies and gentlemen, is more than 3k gold lead, and even the supports have a substantial gold lead. The Alistar is more than happy to tank up any engage that they throw at him, because he knows that their team is gonna win now. Not Noxy doesn't find engage, misses the Q as well, but the ultimate is there. Red Fangase will find the Amumu, but once again that snake crawls where it shouldn't and is getting executed by the enemy team, making sure the game is as fair as possible, it seems. Mid lane tower under fire, Jinx gets excited, he just melts away. That's a better move, that's what I like to see from the side of MMM. If they have so huge lead, just make sure to pressure them as much as possible. I don't want to see them lag again behind the enemy inhibitor turrets. Now there's a lot of nice engages onto Bob Lucio. There's a Call of the Force God, but there's Nature's Grabs on top of 3 people, so they cannot follow up. The turn the attention onto one. Vampire is the one, and Rocket Axe will die by that one. Not a Super Mega Death Rocket will not find its way, but the rest of the rockets are melting. That's Oppenheimer, ladies and gentlemen, but without bombs, only rockets and axes, as Olaf secures the triple kill, as the inhibitor tower will melt like a butter under a hot night. The inhibitor will follow suit, and maybe we even have the game, as I think they have the timers. There's 10 seconds, and that Jinx can melt through everything if they even find to engage. Vampire tries to get away, she gets headbutted. The first tower drop, Jinx get excited. Cassiopeia also follows the team. Rocket Arch finds Mithril Ball, but there's no more towers. Vampire pulls on to 4. Very nice Petrifying Case, and the new machine will drop. That's the DPS from the side of MMM, who may be overextended a little bit, and the Cassia cannot find the kill, as once again she's at a kids party and the bouncy castle is her kingdom. Game is not over. Might as well be over, though it's almost 15k as a goal lead for the side of MMM. Now, wait, do we still have the chance of someone getting disqualified? What is going on? What is this drama? Are we in a reality show? Is it all scripted, ladies and gentlemen? I'm just throwing away accusations like I'm a flat earther or, I don't know, conspiracy theorist. We all hope for that EU machine will reconnect as soon as possible, and as soon as I say it, he reconnects as well. If there's gonna be any turnaround, let it be the fair and square way. We're still waiting, possibly lag issues. Or did you see? He's. I think he's kind of confused. He's like, how did I die? My screen is gray. I'm not sure what is this. Is this some kind of a bug? Because it's the first death of the game as a Jinx versus a Vladimir and a Momo, a Rel, and Orn. Honestly, that's impressive, and I think it deserves a Pepe clap from all of us. As vampires, Vampire deserves a Pepe clap because she actually eliminated the gold lead that Cassio had on top of her. That's nice. But yep, I'll tend to agree with chat, and once again, this game is looking Biden because it's totally Jover and it just says bye. Then I'll be here all night. Thank you very much. Okay, that Drake will go to the side of the Panthers team. As a small retaliation prize, of course, the Drake comes together with its bounty. A small sack of gold for them. We'll give them 600 more.
Blue team has slain the dragon.
If it gives them any spike, I'd say that it's fine, but I see the side of MMM just realizing their goal lead, pressing tab, seeing how many items they have on top of their opponents, and just overloading topside once again. There's a Mega Minion wave, they don't even wait for it to stack up with the second. They're clearing out vision, they're clearing out the enemy jungle, they're going top, they're pushing the wave, there's no Nexus turrets. On the other hand, it's the last chance for the Panthers girls. There are two ornaments. Orn just got his own unspoken parasite. There's also the Verspitite for Vampire, and they are all running away from the route, and they caught the Jinx. EU machine is half HP, but there's nobody else following up. The Cassiopeia flash ult onto 3. The shutdown doesn't even matter as they focus the Nexus, and it is Jover as MMM advance towards the second phase of the playoffs. Congratulations. And there it is, ladies and gentlemen, the answer to the question I said before. It's still only 2 revs, nobody answering correctly, so nobody gets the prize. Which, wait, there are 3 revs? There are 3 revs! I've been bamboozled! Oh no, so somebody got it right, so I'll need to find the prize, I'll find it another time. So that was the series, at least gameplay-wise so far. Chat, I hope you enjoyed some banger League of Legends. There were some nice outplays going left, right, and center. It was very nice. How many revs can we get? There is such a thing as too many revs, chat. I'm just giving away. It's not a threat. It's how do you call it? It's a warning. Okay. You don't want too many revs. Ask my cats. They will answer. So as we're waiting right now to see if we're gonna have any interviewers from the side of MMM after this first series of the playoffs, I think that was a very nice welcome to the playoffs for all of you. I hope that you enjoy the games because from now on onwards, it's gonna be spicy. It's gonna get hotter. Only the best will survive. You need to remember that, all of you. And we're gonna get some really good League of Legends here in the ill. And we're gonna have our interview as well. I will need to ask what position. Oh, so it's gonna be the support. It's gonna be Apostle, and he's gonna be joining us shortly. to give us his POV as well after that first playoff series. And there we have him, the big man himself, the Alistar player, the support of the winning team, Apostle. First and foremost, congratulations. And I have a very important question for you. Are
Yeah,
you
thank you,
ready?
thank you. Yeah, I'm ready.
Can you pronounce the name of your team for us?
Yes, it's Manastir Manasya Matrix. It is one monastery in Serbia. You know, we are Christian guys.
Mhm.
So yes, we love that monastery.
Okay, that's very a very wholesome answer. I enjoyed it thoroughly. So once again, congratulations. I want you to guide me through your feelings in that series, through your team feelings, and maybe even what the comps were when you realized that you can turn the series around and reverse sweep it.
Well, yes, we we was in first game, you know. Our mid laner specific, he was so bad at game, and he was kind of eating. But it's fine, yeah. We just mental reset after that game, draft better, play better, and we stomp other two games. So yeah, that's all.
Okay, speaking about drafting better, I understand that since you are a team, you have a coaching staff, or at least have some allocated coaches from the team. Who was the mastermind behind your drafts?
Well, it was mix. All of us was drafting. We don't have coach. He's on vaccination, you know. He's enjoying right now at some party, and we must draft alone by ourselves. But yeah, we cook something in these games, and it was pretty okay. I think we got better draft in second and third game. So
Yeah,
yeah.
you were eating better then. The cooking really did improve, and since you managed to get through that first phase, I want you to give me your first reaction after getting into that playoffs. How do you expect your team to go? Do you think you're one of the favorites, or do you have ways to climb still?
Well, you know, yeah. I think we will win everything. I think we will just win whole tournament. Maybe people don't like us here, as you can see. In first game, everyone was cheering for Val Panthers, but in second and third game, no one was writing. You know, so they don't like us. But it's okay. We will take that arc. We will go from zero to hero. You know, and we will win everything at the end.
That's a very nice attitude to have. So, before I let you go celebrate with your team, do you have anything else you wanna share with the chat?
Nothing. I just want to say that we will face only Pills in 1 month. I don't know, in September 2nd, I think, is our game. So yeah, then they will have to speak on the Rift, and I just want to uh, tell that they will be gapped on the bot. That's all.
Okay, that's some promise. Let's see if it fires back, or let's see if it will strike through. Once again, Apostle, congratulations to you and your
Thank
team.
you,
Very
thank you.
deserved victory. And I hope I'll see you on the Rift one more time
Yeah,
in September.
yeah. See you then.
See you. Good night.
Good night.
That was Apostle, the support of Team MMM. I would try and pronounce the name once again, but I don't want to butcher it. I do apologize. So that was the series officially from our side as well. 3 revs was the maximum we would get, or 3.5. I don't know. We should have count the upside down rev as full rev. I hope everyone enjoyed the solo cast, the duo cast, and of course the great games of League of Legends. But for now, unfortunately, we'll have to bid you adieu. We'll have to say good night, have a good sleep, drink some water, go outside tomorrow, get some sun, and touch some grass, gamers. Until next time.